It's ridiculous for a fully grown, older adult male to hip check a player in that moment and then throw the flag.
It's always nice to start off a show opening talking about NFL officiating instead of the game. And last night, they just set the world ablaze with the taunting call, which was so ridiculous. And then this little hip check. I don't know if you guys remember Reggie Jackson in the World Series. Was it 77 or 78 where he did that little swivel and hit a ball being thrown from first to second or second to first and pinged the ball, and the umpires basically threw up their hands and said, "We have no idea what to do with this." And last night, the official initiates contact with the player, but it had no bearing on anything because he was already reaching for the flag in his pocket because a guy dared to look at the sideline. And look, they can have their taunting rule if they want it, but they can't have this enforcement. And there's nobody outside of the competition committee and ownership and the NFL league offices who wants this. They've got a great product. Hutton, you've pointed it out, and it's continued. Even when bad teams are in these primetime games this year, they are lucking out and getting these close games. But with 3 minutes and change left, they tilted what the result of this game with this call when there was going to be a punt, and instead there's a first down because a guy nobody's ever heard of, Cassius Marsh, just called up from the practice squad, I believe, made a play and looked, didn't gesture. We don't know what he said, but how bad could something he said from that far away have been? Quote unquote, taunted. It's a ridiculous call, and all of America agrees.
Now, I've got a very different take on this. You can't make that call. I understand that. You cannot possibly ruin the game. Not ruin it, but you're flipping the game after that, where the Bears had a chance, and they still had a chance. I get that. But it's a pivotal call at that point in the game. I also can't have my practice squad linebacker making that play and not running off the field.
No, turn and run.
I mean, he did some sort of kicking exercise to celebrate.
Spinning heel kick celebration was
spinning
awesome.
Heel kick.
I thought that's what they flagged him for, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
That's what I thought it was too. Now, his teammate was smart in that he did the same thing. I don't know if they talked about that in advance. I thought that was clearly to say, this is I'm covering him. This is what we do as a team, so it's not one person taunting.
Yeah, but you can do that.
He did a quick.
You can do that as long as you're not doing it at the play.
Directed at the other team,
right? So
directed at the officials now.
But it was also,
Tony Corrente needs to be penalized as well.
A big point of he hip checked the guy. But again, let's go to the start of all this. I think both these things can be true. It's ridiculous to call that penalty. It's ridiculous for a fully grown, older adult male to hip check a player in that moment and then throw the flag. It's also ridiculous for Cassius Marsh to make this one play that's that pivotal, and to do that was funny, fine, but then to turn and walk, it wasn't. It was 9 steps towards the sideline. He's looking at the punter. He does say something. I don't know what it was. Do I think it should have been flagged? No. If I'm his coach, am I telling him, do not put yourself in that damn position again? Yes.
He wasn't flagged for talking to the punter. He was flagged for hitting Tony Corrente.
Tony Corrente flagged for the bench.
Absolutely not. Tony Corrente is holding the flag in his pocket, waiting on contact.
That is not.
As soon as contact is made, the flag is thrown.
That is not what Tony Corrente said to the pool reporter after the game.
Well, he straight up lied to the pool reporter.
No, he said he was already gearing up to get it, and then he happened to bump into him. That had nothing to do with it.
He just happened to hip check the guy on the way by.
He said it was all about him going to the sideline.
I think it was.
Tony Corrente's a liar.
I think he's a liar too, but I think it was for the staring at the bench, and it was in process of happening already.
Cassius Marsh is playing against one of his former teams, and I realize he's played for about 12 of them. And he played for 3 teams last year. The Titans saw him a couple times. He played for the Colts, he played for the Jags, played for Seattle. He's played for Seattle twice. He's now with the Bears. He was he was in training camp, and at the end of last year, he was with the Steelers.
Very popular.
Well, he's a guy that is a headhunter. He'll go out and in no regard for his own well-being. I mean, that's what you want in a linebacker that's going to go around to 48-man rosters. He's active for a reason. He puts his body in harm's way on special teams. And here he is making a huge play. And Tony Corrente hip checks him on the way by and throws the flag after the contact with the official.
Here's what Tony Corrente said. This is directly to the poll reporter. First of all, keep in mind that taunting is a point of emphasis this year. And with that said, I saw the player, after he made a big play, run towards the bench area of the Pittsburgh Steelers in posture in such a way that I felt he was taunting them. He was then asked, did your call have anything to do with the contact that you and Marsh made after the play? He says that had nothing to do with it. It was the taunting aspect of the play.
He has to say that because he initiated the contact with the player.
That doesn't make it so, but I think it was already in process after.
I think this is what I believe, and I think that he's admitting to it right here. I think he was pissed off seeing that guy do it. I don't know if a guy that looks like Cassius Marsh dates his daughter or what, but he had a problem with everything he did, starting with the heel kick, starting with the walkover. He was geared up, loaded to give him the penalty, and he saw him walking back and didn't like it, probably being a very old school guy. He hip checked him, which he should be penalized for and fined or something also.
Judge intent,
and then he threw it.
That.
Oh, yeah. It was Bobby Knight-like behavior, kind of.
I think both are wrong. I mean, I think both players, I think the ref looks dumb here, shouldn't have called it, certainly shouldn't have made contact with the player, which I agree, he made contact with the player intentionally. I also don't think that Cassius Marsh, a guy called up from the practice squad, or anyone should even put themselves in that situation where that flag could happen.